That Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin ASAP clinic is available at both the Brookfield and Pewaukee locations. Look, if you're thinking about making a trip to the ER or urgent care, stop, pause. Locations in Brookfield, McWanago, and Pewaukee, all physicians at the ASAP clinic are fellowship trained in specialty orthopedics. They offer physical therapy, MRI, outpatient surgical procedures right there on site. There is a difference when you use Ortho ASAP clinics. Let's get out to Adam Schefter. Shefty, how you doing this morning?
What is going on, guys?
Whoa, a lot of energy. Throwing us a lot of energy this morning. I appreciate that. There's a tweet that's going around that says a few words. It's very simple, but I love the concept of it. It says, I miss him, and it's related to sports. Who is the athlete that you miss seeing on Sundays and Mondays and Thursdays in the NFL?
Who would I miss seeing on Sunday, Monday, and Thursday? I guess you have to start with the obvious, right? You would say Tom Brady, correct?
Oh, that's a good one, yeah. Nailed it.
Kind of miss seeing him play and how much fun that was to see him back out there. I guess, were people referring to Aaron Rodgers being hurt? Could that be it?
I don't miss him. I'm good.
Well, Jen, that was directed at Gabe and Chewy more than you.
Yeah.
Okay,
so. Anyway, show of hands, who misses Aaron Rodgers? So for me,
when he was the quarterback, Jen,
when he was the quarterback of the Packers,
they were winning more.
Yes.
And winning's always more fun than losing.
So you do miss Aaron Rodgers.
A little bit.
For me, it's like guys who are like electric on the field. So the list that popped in my head was like the Megatrons, the Randy Mosses, maybe even Larry Fitzgerald to a certain point. Like the guys who you just knew that when a team was facing third and long, the quarterback could go to them and they would not only get the first down, but have an explosive play, maybe find their way to the end zone. Like I miss those type of dynamic, like playmaking wide receivers right now. I'm not sure that there's anybody who really jumps off the page for me in that space.
How about Justin Jefferson when he's healthy? How about Tyreek Hill?
Yes.
How about A.J. Brown? Is like there are some unbelievable.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not trying to take anything away from the current class of wide receivers. I'm just simply saying that when Randy Moss was on the field, like it was must-see TV.
Well, I got to say something. I kind of view, like when Randy Moss was out there, he was a guy that if he was playing your team, you were petrified. You were just like, oh my God. And I think Tyreek Hill conjures up the same feelings when your team is going up against him. Now, there are different kinds of players. Tyreek is a little faster, smaller. Randy was just giant and could catch everything and would moss people, as we've come to know. But I really think there is a similar danger factor to Tyreek Hill as there was to Randy Moss. Here's the great story of Tyreek Hill. This is a true story. I was in Canton, Ohio. It was August of, there had to be some sort of Chiefs or Eagles player because Andy Reid was there with Brad Childress, and they flew in for the night to go to the Gold Jacket dinner where they hand out the gold jackets to the incoming Hall of Fame players. And I saw Brad Childress in the audience, and we're talking, how's camp go? I'm always asking, who, anybody standing out, who's catching your eye? And that summer, Brad Childress said to me, he goes, Tyreek Hill is a guy that's really caught my attention this summer. He's a rookie. I'm like, a rookie, Tyreek Hill. Oh, the 5th round draft pick. Yeah, probably the best football player I've ever seen. I said, wait, come again? He said, probably the best football player I've ever seen. I'm like, he's a rookie 5th round draft pick. And you're saying that a few weeks into training camp, a couple of weeks into, are you really? He's like, I'm just telling you, this guy's unbelievable. And I always remember that, hearing about Tyreek Hill from Brad Childress in Canton, Ohio, before he actually surfaced. And he wasn't far from the truth.
Adam, how do you look at and grade offensive or just assistant coaches overall? Because we were just talking about coaches on the show and trying to figure out the job that Matt LaFleur's doing, but also when you have such a young team, like it's hard as a fan to kind of know because all of the assistant coach jobs are done mostly behind the scenes, especially when you have a head coach that does all the play calling and your offensive coordinator is doing other things, again, behind the scenes.
I think I've never been an X's and O's guy. So Chewy will watch something and see it totally different than I will. But I come back to the basic common sense, everyman approach. You see it and it just works. Your eyes don't lie to you. Like, is D'Amico Ryans doing a great job in Houston this year with Bobby Slowick? Yes, they are. Now, how do I know that? Just watch the way they play. It just flows. There's a rhythm to things. They look effective. What they do works. You can just tell. Now, again, I may not know as much as X's knows as Chewy. I don't know as much. But you can just put on the TV, watch the game, and see right away that what this guy is calling, what this coach is doing, what he's preaching, it's working or it's not. It's like a quarterback when he's coming out. You watch the guy. Yeah, we could get into all the personnel men grading the tapes and evaluating all the quarterbacks. I was on the phone yesterday with a GM, and the guy was telling me how he loves CJ Stroud. And it's so easy to say it now, but I remember this before the draft. I remember him telling me about a couple of his assistant coaches that love CJ Stroud. And so they put on the tape, and there was just something about the guy that they viewed as very effective. And I think it's whether you're evaluating a quarterback or a coach, they have to pass the eye test, and they either do or they don't. And sometimes if you don't know, it's kind of like when you were dating, then you know. Then the answer is probably no.
Adam Schefter hanging out with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning. No Chew as he is traveling. What's interesting about the CJ Stroud
Where's
thing?
Chewy today, Jen? Where's Chewy
I
today?
believe he is going to Ohio State this weekend. His daughter goes there, and I think he told us yesterday that he was road tripping to Ohio State. So,
which he was excited about, Adam. I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to have the brisket sandwich from Buc-ee's.
Oh my gosh!
So he was really excited.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Ohio State. Here's what I think of with Ohio State, and this is true. My senior year, my friends and I went down to Columbus from Ann Arbor, and we drove down there, and we went out all night in Columbus, and it was the very first and last time in my entire life that I showed up in a press box hungover. Like, I'm like, I will never. That's what you learn in college. Like, I'm like, oh, well, I'm never gonna do this again. Never gonna do this again. Like, this is awful. Like, I was at the press table. I'm sitting in my spot, and like I'm fighting to stay awake. Like I was not feeling well. Like, yeah, I'm not doing that again, and never have, obviously. A good lesson that I learned in Columbus, where Chewy is this weekend.
Was there any point where you thought you maybe had to make a bathroom run and refund some of the activities that happened the night before?
Absolutely. That's all a part of the learning process. When you're in college, you learn an awful lot, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. I learned then, like, not a good idea to go out real late, drinking like that, and showing up in the press box the next day.
I love that even when Chewy's not here, he's responsible for a total stream of consciousness train derail. Dude's not even here. Hey, let me tell you about Columbus. Let me get back to CJ Stroud here. I think if you're a Packers fan and you're watching what CJ Stroud is doing down there in Houston, you're going, oh, it can be done. You can step in to a brand. You can make that transition from the college game to the professional game, and it be almost seamless. Is CJ Stroud in your mind?
Go
ahead.
Jen, you could look at Carolina and say, "Oh, it's hard to get done. It's not so seamless."
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of it is the quarterback himself, and again, the coaching that he gets and the system he steps into, and all that, and CJ Stroud is making it look easy. So I think it's a mistake to look at Houston's, it can be done. Well, go back to the draft class where Trevor Lawrence went 1 and Zach Wilson went 2 and Trey Lance went 3 and Mac Jones and Justin. Oh, it's not so easy to get it done.
So with that said, do you see CJ Stroud as an MVP candidate?
Well, the fact that we're even talking about him as an MVP candidate is in and of itself a huge win and a huge credit to him, because it's going to be hard for him to win that award, I think. Does he deserve to be in the conversation? 100%. Is he playing at that level? Absolutely. Is he going to beat out Lamar Jackson and Tua Tagovailoa and Patrick Mahomes for that award? I don't think so, but he's got a chance. And at the very least, he's going to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. We could just give him that award right now, crown him right now, as Denny Green would say, crown him. And we'll see whether or not he can string together more performances like the one he had the last 2 weeks. One come from behind to beat Tampa, one come from behind to beat Cincinnati. If he can keep doing that, yeah, he'll get more and more MVP consideration. But what he's done, he has been incredible. Through 9 games, he's thrown for more yards than any rookie quarterback since Andrew Luck in 2012 and Justin Herbert in 2020. So again, to your point, well, look what they're doing. Look, it could be done. Well, yeah, but he's one quarterback in 11 years, joining Luck and Herbert that has stepped onto the scene and produced at this level this quickly, whereas many other rookie quarterbacks have failed.
With that in mind, and just really, I guess, at every possession, do you think that the gap between the Power 5 schools in college football and the Group of 5 schools is getting bigger? Therefore, the learning curve when you take guys, because the Packers are littered all over their roster. They're expecting guys, young guys from those Group of 5 schools, whether we're talking about Jordan Love from Utah State or Christian Watson, who went to an FCS school in North Dakota State, Romeo Dobbs from Nevada. Like, is that gap, it just keeps getting wider, so it's even harder for guys like that to make the adjustment to the NFL once they get there?
I don't know. I guarantee if we went through, we could find guys that are not in the Power 5 schools that are outside that are making impacts right away. I just think C.J. Stroud, Ohio State, obvious, makes the impact. There's got to be somebody else, a rookie off the top of my head, that's doing that right away that didn't go to one of those big schools. So I don't think it's that at all. I just think it's where this guy went, and he happened to be coming in and making the mark that he is.
Well, but we also talk about.
By the way, how about Will Levis? Right, Will Levis came in and looked pretty good right away.
Yeah, but he also played in the SEC.
Yeah.
So like the competition the competition he's playing against week in and week out is pretty good.
Trying to think of an example here recently.
Well, there are always going to be examples of guys who came from smaller schools and who flash at the NFL level. And we have even talked about Green Bay. Green Bay has put a few guys on every roster. Look, Donald Driver is, years and years and years ago, but he's probably the most obvious for Green Bay fans. He came from Alcorn State. Alcorn, we're supposed to say that?
Alcorn,
right?
Yeah.
Alcorn State. I always called it Alcorn State. And then somebody told me it's Alcorn. Anyway.
Alcorn.
But I'm talking about how you can't have every guy at every position coming from a smaller program, because then you're not playing this level of competition. The closest competition to the NFL, whether people want to hear it or not, is the competition you see week in and week out in the SEC, and maybe sometimes in the Big Ten, maybe. But for the most part, I feel like those guys are closer to playing the competition they're going to see in the NFL, so the learning curve is smaller. But Green Bay right now, the way that their roster is built, Adam, is small school, small school, small school, small school, small program. And I just think that that's almost too much to overcome.
Well, it's an interesting point. And I think that the organization probably has had success dipping into that well before. And it's something that's worked for them in the past. And maybe today, to your point, it's a little bit different. And the level of play, competition, exposure, whatever it may be, training that a bigger school gets you makes that much more of a difference. I still come back to the player himself. I still think it comes back to that, whether you're shining at Michigan or Ohio State or shining at Southern Illinois or Alcorn State. I still think that the guy can play or he can't play. The guy is going to make things happen or he's not, no matter where he went to college. I don't know. I don't think the college makes as big a deal. That's my own gut answer.
I just want to revisit this from last week because you came in hard. You gave a lot of people, maybe Schefter's onto something where you're going, man, maybe the Packers could win 5 games. And you thought they could win one of the next 2 in order for that to happen. Well, it was a winnable game on Sunday for the Packers, Adam. Didn't go their way. Chargers offense probably looked the best it did all season in a loss to Detroit. And now the Chargers are coming to Green Bay on Sunday. How do you feel about my Packers' chances coming up on Sunday against an offense that's might finally be clicking?
And also might be without Keenan Allen. Like we'll see
Yeah.
whether or not. And they've lost Mike Williams and they
Yep.
lost Josh Palmer, and now we don't know about the status of Keenan Allen. And how do I feel about the Packers on Sunday against the Chargers? I'm not concerned. Like they will have a chance to win that game. Like it's absolutely. The Chargers are inconsistent enough. They don't scare me. They just I don't even care how the offense is performing. They find ways to be in every game. And they did have that little stretch there where they were playing very well. But now you're taking an LA team, putting them in Green Bay. I'm sure it's going to be nice and warm there on Sunday, right? Like, what's the forecast for Sunday?
I mean, we're talking in the 50s still here.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's going to be warmer. That's not as bad as I thought it would be because here in New York it's freezing right now. But I have no issues saying that. Yeah, I thought Green Bay had a chance to win one of those two. I still think they have a chance to win them, and they had a chance to win that game Sunday and didn't.
Adam, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you again soon.
Jen, Gabe, have a great day. We'll talk next Wednesday.